Imagine buying half a country for less than the price of a candy bar per acre. In 1803, the United States did just that, doubling its size overnight by purchasing a massive territory from France. The deal cost $15 million, about 4 cents an acre. This land stretched from the Mississippi River to the Rocky Mountains, and from the Gulf of Mexico to Canada. Before this, the U.S. was mostly a narrow strip along the Atlantic. Suddenly, the map of North America changed forever. The purchase included states like Kansas, Nebraska, and Iowa, millions of acres of rivers, forests, and plains. The leaders of the young United States knew they needed room to grow, but never imagined it would happen like this. The idea of buying such a huge piece of the world seemed impossible. Who would sell it? And why? The answer? A powerful emperor with big dreams, and an American president willing to take a huge risk. This wasn't a war or a revolution, it was a quiet deal that changed everything. The Louisiana Purchase set the stage for cowboys, gold rushes, and the push west. Without it, the United States as we know it wouldn't exist. But this deal almost didn't happen. It took luck, boldness, and a desperate need for cash. The story begins with one man's dream of empire, and his sudden, urgent problem. Most people learn about battles, but sometimes history changes with a signature. The Louisiana Purchase was the deal of a lifetime, and it all started with a gamble. It's a story of ambition, risk, and a decision that shaped a continent. The land wasn't empty, it was full of resources and people whose lives would be changed forever. This is how America got its heartland, and why it almost didn't happen at all. Let's meet the two men who made it possible. Across the Atlantic, Napoleon Bonaparte dreamed of a French empire in North America. He controlled Louisiana, hoping it would feed his Caribbean colonies. But his plans unraveled. Haiti's enslaved people revolted, defeating his armies and destroying his vision. Wars in Europe drained his resources. He needed money fast. Suddenly, Louisiana became a burden, not an asset. Meanwhile, President Thomas Jefferson wanted land for American farmers. The Mississippi River was vital for trade, but France controlled New Orleans, the gateway to the West. Jefferson feared Napoleon would block American access, threatening the nation's future. He sent James Monroe and Robert Livingston to Paris, hoping to buy New Orleans for up to $10 million. They weren't authorized to buy the whole territory, just the city and maybe a bit of Florida. Jefferson was anxious, knowing the stakes were high. He expected France to say no, but Napoleon's troubles were about to change everything. Two leaders, each desperate for different reasons, were about to make history. The Americans arrived in Paris, ready to negotiate for a city, unaware they might be offered an empire. The fate of a continent hung in the balance. Jefferson's gamble would soon pay off in a way no one expected. The next move belonged to Napoleon. The world was about to change with a single question. Sometimes history turns on a moment of desperation. The Americans waited, not knowing what was coming. The answer from France would shock them, and the world. The biggest land deal in history was about to be made. All it took was one unexpected offer, and a yes that changed everything. The American diplomats offered to buy New Orleans, but France wasn't interested at first. Weeks passed with no progress. It looked like failure. Then, Napoleon made a stunning decision: sell all of Louisiana. His Caribbean empire was lost, and he needed cash for war with Britain. He feared Britain might seize the territory anyway. Suddenly, the Americans were asked, "What would you pay for the whole thing?" Monroe and Livingston were stunned. They had no instructions for this. Thinking fast, they offered $15 million for the entire territory. For over 800,000 square miles, it was the bargain of the century. France agreed. The deal was done. If France had refused, America might have stayed small or gone to war for New Orleans. Britain could have taken the land, changing the map forever. But Napoleon's need for money, and a quick decision, changed history. The United States doubled in size overnight. The West was open for exploration, settlement, and conflict. The Louisiana Purchase was a turning point for two continents. It was a deal made in desperation, but it created the America we know today. Sometimes, the most important moments happen quietly behind closed doors. One yes from Napoleon changed the world. The American dream of expansion was suddenly real. The consequences would echo for generations. The next challenge? What to do with all that land? The nation was about to be transformed, again. The story of the new America was just beginning, and not everyone would benefit. News of the Louisiana Purchase electrified America. The country doubled in size and a new era of westward expansion began. Pioneers and adventurers rushed into the unknown, chasing opportunity and dreams. The idea of manifest destiny took hold. Americans believed it was their fate to span the continent. The Lewis and Clark expedition set out to explore the new land, but the purchase also deepened divisions over slavery and led to conflict with Native American nations. The land was not empty. It was home to many peoples whose lives would be upended. Jefferson worried about the legality of the deal, but Congress approved it. The Louisiana Purchase was both a triumph and a source of future conflict. It changed the map and the destiny of the United States. The story was far from over. Imagine if the Louisiana Purchase never happened. America might be smaller, weaker, and hemmed in by rival powers. The gold rush, the transcontinental railroad, even Hollywood, none of it would exist as we know it. But here's the twist. France didn't really control most of the land it sold. Native American nations ruled the plains, mountains, and rivers. The US bought a claim, not true ownership. What America really purchased was the right to take the land, by force or treaty, from its original inhabitants. The deal sparked a century of conflict and broken promises. The Louisiana Purchase was less a real estate deal, more a license to expand. It was the beginning of a long, often violent struggle for the West. The consequences were profound and not always just. The Louisiana Purchase was a stroke of luck, and a colossal mistake for Napoleon. He sold a future empire for quick cash, shaping America's destiny. The deal fueled dreams, wealth, and tragedy. It brought opportunity for settlers, but disaster for Native Americans. History turned on a desperate decision and a bold gamble. Napoleon lost his empire, America gained a continent. The purchase was both triumph and injustice, a legacy still felt today. One bad decision by a broke emperor changed the world. The map of America is a reminder of that spectacular mistake. Sometimes history's biggest moments come from the most unlikely deals.